Hi there, I'm John Spade, and this is The Egg for Tuesday, October the 5th, 2010. Today I'm talking about corruption. It seems to be a topic I like to talk about a lot. I believe the world is pretty dark and pretty evil at times, and I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is, or my mouth where my money is. I have more mouth than money, as some people will attest to. So here is where I am going today. I got to throw it out there because we live in really interesting times where there's so much complete transparency now that I think most politicians believe that they can act with impunity and everything could be out there for you to see. They don't have to hide it anymore because most people aren't going to, or just really don't care enough to do anything about it. And then there's the people that do choose to do something about it, and the ramifications of their actions become clear and transparent. I want to talk about corruption and the definition, and I did quite a bit of research on the definition of corruption via the net, just to sort of see what would come up. And there's an interesting website called Transparency International, and this is how they define corruption. It's a clear and focused definition of the term. Corruption is operationally defined as the abuse of entrusted power for private gain. Now, it's, in a world where a lot of us want to live with rose-colored glasses on, and we really don't want to think that bad people do bad things. And maybe part of that is, to admit it means we would have to look inside ourselves. And a question I want to put out there is, short of killing somebody, what would you do to be incredibly wealthy, to be a millionaire, to not have to worry for the rest of your life? And I'm telling you, if it was a private poll and people didn't have to leave their names, I think the numbers would be staggering, because I know I have friends that are they're just so absorbed with the idea of wealth and having everything and the material possessions and the gains. And of course, I understand people that don't want to live without and don't like the idea of uncertainty and want to sort of lock down the future. But reality tells us that's not possible. It just isn't. There are uncertainties. Anthony Robbins, who I've become a huge fan of in the last 3 or 4 months, he clearly states in one of his speeches that pain is basically, you can't escape it. At some point in your life, you're going to have pain in your life. But people seem to think that by having material wealth, that they're going to eliminate those things. And you can't. You just simply can't. That's reality. Unfortunately, reality doesn't really play a part in people's logic and the need to own things and to have and to, secure the future. So we know corruption is rampant. In Calgary here, my gut instinct tells me that the mayor that's on his way out, and I won't mention his name, he knows who he is, but he's talked about corruption and it being fired his way. And his reaction to the media was, bring it on. If you think that you know something, bring it on. And I'm going to fire back. I'll tell you what happens. Freedom of speech is something that's really going away. Even though we have the internet and we have the ability to share a lot of information, the bullying that comes with that, for anybody that wants to stick their neck out, and I'm going to talk about John Kelly. I talked about him about a week and a half ago. He's a gentleman who is basically taking on a fight against City Hall, our police, and some other people. It has to do with his community association and millions upon millions of dollars that have gone missing, and he's tried to dig it up and find out what's going on. From that, he's created his own website, and he is now finding that, that rabbit hole goes pretty deep. So what's the answer for our city and our police department? Well, they get the RCMP involved and they charge the guy. and they take him to court, and they try to prohibit him from putting any information up on his website. I'm now on his email list, so I'm privy to information that's going on and what he has been dealing with and the charges that he's going up against. And it's staggering. They have 7 charges, and with the exception of 2 where these are more civil cases where he's talked out against certain police officers and named names. These police officers have the right to go to court and sue him for defamation of character. Unfortunately, they're bringing it under the Criminal Act, and the 7 charges are all, and you can tell the transparency of it is, we're going to shut you up one way or another. If it means that we're going to tie you up in court, and and right now John Kelly is, I believe he's still defending himself, for better or worse. But the reality is if the government wants to shut you up, they're going to shut you up. And this is a conspiracy. This isn't conjecture on my part or, me theorizing. This is just the way it is. Go on Google today. Anybody that thinks the information that you're getting on Google is unfiltered and as clear as it gets, I'm going to tell you, forget celebrities, because celebrities there's always going to be dirt on. Politicians, however, this is where, excuse me, this is where it gets interesting. I'm so excited, I'm tripping over myself. Pick 3 politicians that you know of, specifically in Canada. I used Dave Brown-Kanye, I said I wasn't going to mention his name. Anyways, I did. As one of the characters I'm talking about. Type anything in Google to do with Dave Brown-Kanye, corruption, anything. You don't like the guy, he's an asshole, whatever, and see what comes up. Literally, this guy, as far as Google is concerned, and I tried Metacrawlers and a bunch of other search engines, there's nothing on him. This is a guy that's been in term as mayor of our city for 3 terms, 1 million plus people in this city, and nobody's talking crap about him on the internet. You think that throttling isn't going on and that they're not controlling the flow of information, and people with the money can absolutely do that. While I do talk about the internet being open and transparent, and there's the opportunity to share information, for people like myself and others, we have to get more creative. This requires networking. This requires networking with lots of people who have the same goal in mind, and that is complete transparency, and to basically take media out of it and to take the government out of it, where we have our own networks where we're going to share information and there's nothing that can stop us. You know what, personally, I would love Dave Brown-Kanye. You say there's no corruption going on in City Hall. You say you've been above board and clean. You know what? You could prove that tomorrow. And I don't know that you have been corrupt, because right now that would be speculation on my part. I have 2 people that came forward, contacted me and said they have information. They have hardcore information inside City Hall. I'm not making this up. They both contacted me. I said, I would love to talk with you. Yes, we'll keep you anonymous. Bring the information forward. And these people have disappeared. Now, I don't think they've disappeared. I just think for whatever reason, and I don't know, maybe we're getting into a whole different realm of territory, deep throat type stuff. These people, I can't contact them now. It's been 2 weeks and I have no idea where they are, and maybe they got scared. I'm not sure. But Bronco, you could put it all to rest. Freedom of information, just put it out there. Let's see your tax returns for the last couple of years. Let's see what kind of property owning, you have property in Calgary. The one piece of property you say you had it before you became mayor, that's great. Share it with us. You got nothing to hide, right? Corruption is here. We know it is in Calgary. It's hard to get around it when there's money involved. And I think, unfortunately, if you set somebody up to fail, they're going to fail. It's been proven time and time again. Psychologists have talked about it. If you put temptation in front of somebody, even the most honest of persons would probably, it's a 50-50 chance that they're going to go the wrong way, especially when it comes to money. Because at the end of the day, we all want it. We all want to own stuff. And when that's the factor and that's the reality, corruption is not far behind. So that's my egg for today. I know I'm going to be talking about this more. I'm really hoping I'm going to get to have a interview with John Kelly. I'm still waiting for him, the Nahad Neshi camp, because Nahad, of course, is running for mayor of Calgary. And I've been told by their camp that at some point I would get a chance to talk with him on camera. I'm really hoping I do get that chance. and we'll see what happens in the next coming week or so, because the election here in Calgary takes place on the 18th. So that's my egg for today. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys checking with me every time I put one of these out. Bye-bye.